You say you want a family, you say you want a house, you say you want all the things, but here's the reality. The dream will stay a dream if you keep treating saving like an option instead of a necessity. You're not just saving to live a nice and lavish life. No, you're saving for the roof over your future children's head, the stability of your marriage, and just the financial freedom to live without that constant stress. So you want the hardcore truth, no sugarcoating? Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be talking about the importance of saving your finances. I don't think we talk enough how finances play such a huge part in marriage, be it due to the lack of it or just the constant living from paycheck to paycheck. When I was single and I first started out my big girl job, my nursing job, when I first got my paycheck, honey, I didn't know how to act. You couldn't tell me nothing. I wasn't used to seeing this amount of money, and so there were times where I will admit I would just splurge it on things that weren't that necessary. And it's not until later down the line when I got married where I just had to be real with myself and say, you know what? You have a shopping problem. You have a problem where you are impulsive sometimes when it comes to your finances. And it's not until recently where I'm like, you know what? You aren't being the best steward when it comes to these funds that the Most High God has blessed you with. So while doing these self-check-ins with myself, you know, these moments where I hold myself accountable and I self-examine to see how I think I'm doing, I again had to be real with myself, and I just jot down some tips that I want to share with you all today to take your savings a lot more seriously. First things first, every unnecessary purchase is robbing your future family. Oh, it's only $20. Oh my gosh, it's only $15. Wait, buy two, get one free? This is on sale? Oh my God, just because it's on sale doesn't mean that you need it. You're literally choosing instant gratification over long-term peace. Stop lying to yourself. Wake up and realize that the little leaks are sinking your ship. You need to look at your habits and face them head on. What I want you to do is look at your recent bank statements, probably the last three, you know, the latest ones, and really analyze and see, where is your money going? DoorDash? Again? Instacart? Again? Shein? For the 100th time this month? I want you to do all that and add up the amount that you took for yourself and really ask yourself, was it worth it? And I think seeing that visual, it just does something to you once you see that final number, because it's like, dang, this money could have been for something else that was way more important. It could have been in my savings. And yet here I am spending this amount of money, probably monthly. You need to cut the dead weight because you're literally sacrificing your dreams for temporary pleasure. Something that I had to do recently, like a few weeks ago, was delete all the shopping apps on my phone. So as much as I love ASOS, and y'all know I love ASOS, y'all know almost every video on my Instagram page, I tag them in my content. I had to delete ASOS because there were mornings where I would just come in and let's say, oh, let me see what ASOS got going on today. Let me see if they got a little sale today. And sure enough, they did. And I surely enough hit add to cart. I did, sure did, ma'am. And it's crazy because you look at an item and you say, wow, this is, again, literally only $15 or $20. But you don't realize how much that adds up at the end of the day. Stop the impulse shopping. Like for me, I use Instacart, but I only use it sparingly. So, you know, I live in an apartment. Sometimes it's hard for me to carry the heavier items up. So if I need like a pack of toilet paper or paper towels, or I need to get a lot of juice, I use that. And I know sometimes it's an added fee, an extra service fee and all that, but to me, that's worth it. But something that I had to discipline myself into doing more is doing weekly grocery runs to the store. Yes, that means putting on my clothes, getting dressed, taking my little cart, my little wagon if needed, and go to the store and get all my items for the week, just to eliminate the constant back and forth with Instacart. Love Instacart, great application, but it takes a lot of money out of you too as well. If it's the daily coffee runs, the shopping, the eating out, you know, no one's saying that you can't have these things, but just learn how to minimize them so that it's done more so in moderation and not on a constant basis. Because we are trying to, if you're watching this video, I assume your goal is to save more. And right now you're at a point where, you know, you see you can do a little bit better than that. So let's be real with ourselves. We can cut back in certain areas. It's not gonna harm us. Make saving automatic. Make it like a bill that you have to treat first. No excuses. If you can't see it, you can't spend it. I know sometimes we like to dibble and dabble and, oh, let me just transfer a little. No, don't do that. Do not do that. Treat it like a bill. Once you put it in there, leave it alone. Discipline yourself not to touch it. I know. Listen, I know it's easier said than done, but it's something that you just have to continue to push yourself to do. Like, you have to. And we really have to stop living like we have more money than we actually do. You want to treat yourself? Cool. Treat yourself to the satisfaction of knowing that you are building a secure future for you and your family. There was a sister on Facebook. She had posted that she and her husband had bought a second home, and I saw that, and you know, they're very young. So I said to myself, oh my gosh, you bought a second home? So I reached out to the sister and I was like, Sis, shalom. How is it that you and your husband were able to do this at such a young age? Like, what are some tips? Because, you know, me and my husband, that's one of our goals one day. So I want to know how you did it. And she told me, she was like, listen, we both had to save a lot. There were times where we had to be comfortable with just eating rice and beans, you know, ramen. Like we had to really be disciplined. We knew what we want in the future. And because of that, we had to sacrifice some temporary pleasures. And once she said that to me, I was like, wow, sis was eating rice and beans for days. Her and her husband, they didn't even complain. They was focused on what they wanted and they were able to push through because of that. And I was like, wow. If you're watching this and you are also married, get on the same page with your significant other. You two need to hold each other accountable and get crystal clear about your budget. We are going to spend this amount every month, every week. We don't want to pass this. This is the budget when it comes to groceries. This is how much we want to spend or have when it comes to date night, Like, sometimes things are going to have to give, but you have a vision in mind, so it's okay. And once you reach that vision, you're going to thank yourself in the future. And I know this is a hard realization for many, but the hard truth is if you don't change now, you're just gonna regret it later on. Because let me tell you one thing, there was nothing cute about being 10 years down the line, broke, stressed, and still wishing for what you could have had you just been disciplined. Be a good steward of what you've been given. Your future kids deserve a mom who didn't let "I just wanted it" steal their stability. Save now so you can live free later. When you look at things in its proper righteous perspective, everything that we have comes from the Most High God. Everything good He's blessed and bestowed upon us, and it should be just second nature for us to know how to deal with that stuff wisely. And the way I've been looking at it is, if I'm careless with the resources I have today, how can God trust me with more resources tomorrow? If I'm not being faithful and diligent in the little that He's given me now, how could He possibly give me more? Say you want these big things like a house and children, show God that you're responsible for the little things that He's bestowed upon you now. Because with more responsibility comes more accountability. As we know, with houses, it comes a lot of upkeep. It's a lot of maintenance, it's a lot of fees, it's insurance, it's a lot of money. And we know children, they cost a lot too. And for whatever it can be that you want in your future that's costly, it's gonna cost some type of money. You even go so far to look at the physical realm of things. The ant doesn't live paycheck to paycheck. The ant works and stores up because it knows winter is coming. Your future family, your future self are depending on the seeds that you sow today. But every unnecessary purchase is only eating at your harvest instead of planting it. And that only leads to bondage because you can't fully serve God like you want to when you're constantly being burdened by financial worry. You keep spending like this and you'll find yourself enslaved to debt, bills, lenders, and that dream that you have is only going to slip away farther and farther. Something that can help you attain those goals is to really create a vision board. What is it that I want for myself in the future, and what do I plan on doing to get there? Because the misconception that a lot of believers have is that the Most High God is just going to bless them just because they prayed for it. Oh, I'm praying for it. I'm going to do this. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. I'm just going to pray about it. God will take care of me. Jesus paid it all. But where's your works? Where they at? What are you doing to show God that you trust Him? Yes, but you're also putting in the work to reach that goal. It's not going to just come flying out in your lap like that. Sorry. At the end of the day, if you want to build a righteous and stable home, one of the things that you have to do is get your finances in order, especially if you have no responsibilities yet. I'm talking no kids, you're not married, even if you have the blessing of still being with your parents. Work an extra overtime or two, like, listen, get that in order. Get your spending habits in order. It's time to leave a legacy of wisdom and not one of regret. So get serious about your saving. God is watching and He's ready to bless you once you do your part. So don't squander His provision. Also, once you are blessed with funds, you're blessed financially and you're in the place where you can help other people, don't just live according to yourself. I know there was a time, probably like a few months ago, I was buying this sister some stuff. She had a baby. I got her some clothes, some, cute stuff just to help out. And I felt so blessed being able to do that. And part of me wished I can do that more when it comes to other people. Like, I wish I could help everyone, but I'm not in the place to do so like that. I don't gotta like that. We aren't just placed here on this earth to live unto ourselves. We're meant to help our neighbor. We're meant to look after those, the needy, those who also are suffering. So again, don't just have that mentality of, oh, it's just about me and my family. Like, be so willing to help others as well. Of course, be wise with it, Don't be stupid with your money, just handing it out to everyone. Like, you gotta like that. But again, just have that spirit where you're not just thinking about you. I hope this video was helpful. Also, please check out my latest ebook. I created an ebook called Stop Swiping, Start Saving. It's a biblical boot camp guide to help you save your finances more. It's filled with practical tips supporting Bible verses as well, so check it out if you haven't already. The link to this ebook will be located on my Instagram, hisdaughter7, and it'll be in my bio so that you can purchase it. Again, I hope this video was helpful, and I'll see you in my next one. Shalom.